Where are we? All right, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to the JMC race briefing. Nothing fancy here in my little loft office, and on a rather wet and more like a classic winter's day in Cape Town, and forecast for the next 3 days. So yeah, this is the race briefing for the 10th edition. It will be saved on here, so you can share it with anybody who might be missing it and catch up on it a bit later. This is quite nice to be able to record it, so we can tell you we told you so later on. Right, 500 of you will be or are signed up. Our limitation on this COVID level 1 is 500 capacity, and we've got that. So thank you all very much for entering and supporting us in this very difficult time. You are unfortunately signed up for a very wet and wild experience on Sunday, but that's all part of trail running. And I take it you're all getting yourselves ready for doing battle with the weather. So while we're talking about that, I'm going to get the elephant out of the room. And that is exactly, as I just mentioned, the weather. So the weather, as you probably have all seen, and those of you who haven't, can't ignore it, and I can't. The weather, all the meteorological reports are pretty much speaking the same language right now, which is appalling. More like classic winter conditions. So we're looking at 9 to 11 degrees Celsius at the start finish, and 6 to 9 degrees at 1,000 meters. So that's pretty atrocious. Cloud base of 0 to 100 meters, so very, very low cloud, which means no visibility, which also means in terms of a rescue, no flying of a helicopter to do any rescues. 20 to 40 mils of rain. That's probably Jonkershoek's one of the wettest places in the Western Cape. So that's more than likely probably the best case scenario, and probably more than likely worse, judging by what we're seeing at the moment. And then probably the hardest and worst factor, as most of you will know, is the wind. It's 10 knots and gusting 40. That's 80 kilometers an hour at 1,000 meters. And as any of you will know, or don't know about the back ridge of Jonkershoek, the 38K, that ridgeline gets hammered by the weather in any conditions. So in terms of what we look at in this, it's very, very dangerous conditions, and the wind making it one of the hardest. Okay, so our assessment of these conditions is basically that back ridge between CP1 and 2 on the 38 kilometer is just too dangerous to support. It's too dangerous for us to run an event on that section of the course, and also puts the lives of our support crew in the mountains at risk as well. They've got to be stationed there for 6 to 7 hours, stationary, unlike you guys, and it's just unfair for us to expect them to do that, and also just the risks involved with their lives. We've got to consider all of it, and so with that in mind, I'll explain what that means in a minute. So yeah, as some of you might know, we were in this position in 2011, and the result was an 11-hour rescue with 46 volunteers from Wildrunner Search and Rescue to recover a single patient up at 1,200 meters who was hypothermic to the point of unconsciousness, and we do not want to repeat that ever again. So to err on the side of caution, we have made plans accordingly to make sure that we can continue without making it dangerous. So what does this mean? Well, first and foremost, a lot of you have been asking, oh, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? The race is on. There's no cancellation going on at all. We are going to race. That's the main thing. So carry on your preparations and get your mind in order. The only change will be the 38-kilometer route. Okay, this has been downgraded to what we call the B route, which is our route that we plan for dangerous conditions. We've never had to use this. So 2020, once again, we'll be making another first. And that is that we're forced by Mother Nature to use our B route, emergency route. This route is updated on the Mountain Challenge Series website. So go to the JMC tab and look at the route profiles. You'll see the B route map is there. In essence, in summary, this route is 33 kilometers and has 1,170 meters of climb. So looking at about 850 so meters less climb, and around about 5 kilometers less in distance. So not too much of a trim, but a trim nevertheless. And basically what we've done is kept you off the back ridge, the eastern ridge, the most dangerous section of the 38-kilometer route. Brought our support teams back down to earth in the lower valley, to keep this experience and race as safe as possible for everyone. So no Swapbos Kloof, no Kirk Trekker, no Berg River Neck, unfortunately, this year. To be honest, you wouldn't be able to see anything anyway, and it would be an absolutely touch and go experience for a lot of you, particularly in the racing scene. The 21.5 and 12 kilometer routes stay exactly as they are. Okay, that gets me on to the next main part, which is compulsory kit. I cannot believe in this day and age that people are still phoning us and emailing us saying, why do I have to take this? Why do I have to take that? Guys, the reality is, as race organizers, we rely on you to be able to look after yourself in the mountains for up to a couple of hours before we can get help to you. So this is not a case of us trying to load you up with everything and sundry. This is a case of us expecting you to make sure that you can look after yourself, not rely on us to whip you out on a helicopter within 5 minutes or use someone else's kit. So the compulsory kit for the 38 kilometer is well documented. The details are very well laid out on the Mountain Challenge Series website. Somebody said it's not there. It's very much there. Go and take a look at that list. Make sure you have it all for the 38 kilometer. There will be no change to that compulsory kit list. It's for your own safety. Make sure you carry it. There will be a kit check in the morning, and I'll run through the timings for that. But you need to have that kit with you in your bag packed when you get to the kit check, and you'll only be issued a number if you've got all that kit with you. There will also be a compulsory kit check for the elites and podium finishers at the finish line to make sure that you haven't decided to toss your jacket between kit check and starting a race, which has happened many times before. So make sure you carry it. Make sure it's playing fair. Everybody has to abide to the same rules. Please make sure you do. The 21.5 no longer requires compulsory kit. Looking at the weather, I'd say, well, we're going to have to leave that to your own judgment. But we highly recommend that you consider taking a rain jacket with you and a beanie at minimum, and your first aid kit, obviously. So use your own common sense. You put your own life in jeopardy and the life of somebody else who lends you a jacket somewhere along the way. If you get into trouble, it's not about when you can run, it's when you can't run. The only compulsory kit that you have to have on all 3 routes is a mobile phone, please, charged, and with the number, our rescue number, 072-438-3242. This will be on your race number. Make sure that's in your phone so that it's easy to get hold of if you need to. But please check out the highly recommended kit lists online on the Mountain Challenge Series website for what we would highly recommend you take, particularly in the kind of weather we're going to experience on Sunday. Right, so the same for the 12K. 12K doesn't have any compulsory kit except the phone, but please, again, just consider the weather again. Consider taking something else to protect you from the elements. Right, COVID screening. Our corona is first and foremost in our minds with everything that's taken us to get to the line here with JMC. So please, we need you to adhere to certain regulations to make, just for us all to toe the line. We have to do certain things. You would have received this morning, all the entrants would have received the COVID screening, the 48-hour screening questionnaire. Please, if you haven't, email us at info@wildrunner.co.za or check your mail, check your spam filter, make sure you fill in that pre-COVID screening form. You'll have to fill it out on the day. It just makes your life a whole lot easier than having to do it in paper on the day in the rain. So please, if you could just do it online, it makes our lives easier. When you arrive, before you enter the race village, you will have your temperature checked. 37.5 degrees is the Stellenbosch municipality limit. So if you are over that when you leave home, don't bother coming. And you'll only be allowed in if you're below 37.5, and that's the same for all crew and staff. Please, we need you to wear a mask and or a buff over your nose and mouth when you arrive and until you have started the race. Once you are out the start line, you may remove that as per the regulations and not have to wear it while you run. We would ask you then, out of respect for everyone, to keep that mask on until you start and put it back on when you finish. So for everyone's sake, and that we can not jeopardize any future events by not adhering to the regulations. There will be hand sanitizer at regular places. Please use it. It'll be available. All our staff will be adhering to policies. The toilets will be clean on a regular basis, and all the other bits and pieces that go with it. And just ask you, please, to keep that social distancing 1.5 meters. We've heard it so many times. We're so used to it now. We are all at risk really at the end of the day, and we can all help each other and respect each other by adhering to those policies. All right, in terms of the race day schedule, so this will all be detailed and sent out to you by email if it hasn't already. Registration times 5 to 6 a.m. for the 38 kilometer. That will be kit check and number collection. There is no separate number collection at all. You do your kit check and then we issue you your number. Okay. For the starts for the 38, we'll be starting first A batch at 6 a.m. and 6:05 for B batch every 5 minutes. 21 and a half kilometer. Your registration time is 6 to 7 a.m. Your start times start from 7 a.m. and 50 people every 5 minutes for the number of people we have on entered. For the 12 kilometer, your registration time 7 to 8 a.m. The start times from 8 o'clock every 5 minutes. Okay. Downgrades can be done if we have availability. The best thing if you're considering a downgrade is please to email or call us. Please, Facebook messaging and what all these other channels, can we just keep it to email and phone, please? Downgrades can be done preferably beforehand. It's much harder to process data on the day. So if you can please do that beforehand, inquire ahead of time whether you can get a downgrade or not. If you arrive on the day and you ask for a downgrade and we don't have any available spots, then I'm afraid you're going to be running what you came for. So there's no guarantee whether you can downgrade on the day. So if you are interested, make sure you do it beforehand. Bag drop, guys. There is a bag drop, waterproof bag drop at the race village. Please leave nothing of value in your vehicle. Okay. The area is what it is. Events unfortunately have been targeted. There's nothing we can do about it. Nothing. We've got security and we've got parking marshals and we've got teams, but we know that there are people posing as runners who are entering, they've got race numbers, and all they're there is to break into cars. So be sensible. Don't leave anything of value in your car. Put it in a bag, have a tog bag, bring it with you, leave it at the bag drop. Those will be numbered and left safely and hopefully dry in the kit bag tent. Right. Races start every 5 minutes for 50 runners. What that means is the batch that you entered for may not be the batch that you are running in. So when the race number has been allocated to you already, on that race number will be a batch. That batch is the batch you're starting in. So then all you need to do is listen out for the batch that relates to your race number. So your race number 55 and you've got batch B, you're in batch B, even if you entered in batch C online. Okay. The reason being is because we are limited to 50 people per start. And we're not going to have 20 people go off and then have another batch. No. So we've concertinaed groups together. All right. You will not be changing batch. The batch you're in is the batch you're in. Please don't come and ask us to change batches. Okay. It's just stick to what it is, and stick to the batch that is on your race number. Okay. We are not doing prize giving. We're not allowed to do prize giving on the day as per the regulations. It will be done the week after. Please don't ask us for prizes on the day. Your medals will be there at the finish line, but prize giving will be done in the week after, and it'll be done live on Facebook like I am doing now. We will do a podium photograph with the top 3, maintaining 1.5 meters, of course, for the top 3 across the line, and that is all the prize giving we will be doing on the day. So when you finish and you're not on the podium, grab your Bos Sport at the finish line, pat yourself in the back, do high fives with elbows or feet, and then head home and get warm. Okay, there is no food on sale. Bring your own food in your bag to the bag drop, in your bag, please. There's a long story to that, but I'm not going to go into it. There will be coffee available, most importantly. Cuppa Joe will be there, and we'll be making a lot of us very happy in the morning in that weather. Very, very important, as the scrolling note is below here. Please, no spectators. And guys, it's a nature reserve, which means you cannot bring your dog. I don't care if your dog is your child. It doesn't matter. Please, no dogs. Okay? If you bring a dog, you're going to go back to your car. You're not going to be coming in with a dog. And spectators is a limit, a permit limit, not a permit limit. It's just a requirement by COVID standards at the moment that no spectators are allowed. So if we can please ask you not to bring your loved one and your family with this time. They're welcome to drop you off, and they can go into the Jonkershoek main gate and pay an entry fee and walk onto the route. That's absolutely fine, but we cannot have spectators at the start-finish line, unfortunately. So it's going to be a come and go scenario in terms of that. Okay, just quickly, race marking and safety. Those of you who will be familiar with our race markings from before, every junction will be marked with a yellow and red signboard. At junctions, at splits where there's more than one course, in other words, you've got a split between the 38 and the 21, there will be more than one board, and it'll have the distance number on the board that you need to follow to complete your course. And there'll be marker flags, bright orange marker flags, and tags on the route, just confirming you made the right turn. Okay. The safety number, the emergency safety number, is on your race number. So as I said before, the number will be on. I've given it to you on this briefing earlier on, 072 438 3242. Make sure that's in your mobile phone. It is on your race number if you need it. Okay, we'll have sweepers behind the routes. There will be 2 sweepers behind the 38K or the new 33. One of those sweepers will be running at cutoff pace. Okay, we have to enforce a cutoff. So if you see a bib going past you, a green bib that says sweeper on it, then you need to pick up your pace, because then you are falling behind the cutoff pace. Long story short, there is a sweeper. They have VHF radio, and they are plugged into our very extensive support team. We have what we call quick response teams, QRTs in the mountains, 3 of them, with our WASA, Wilderness Search and Rescue volunteers, HAMNET, and a field medic in position at 3 places on the route, and are there for safety in case we need to get to you quickly. We're all connected on a VHF radio, a private VHF radio channel, so you'll be able to, we'll be able to get help to you very, very quickly. So just bear that in mind. The first thing you would do if you get into trouble or you find someone else in trouble is phone that number. Second to that would be to move to the next aid station or radio checkpoint, or wait for the sweeper, and they can VHF for help. Okay, but the first port of call is a phone call, and there is good comms throughout the valley. All right, timing will be done by finish time, and we're actually using for the first time their new app system, which still produces live results and also checkpoint results, split times. So loved ones, spectators, rather stay at home with a warm cup of tea and watch the results unfold on the finish time link. That link will be published on the Facebook page here, on the Mountain Challenge Facebook page, Wildrunner Facebook page, and also the website. Just click on the link and you can see the results come through live from there. And then online after your race, you can get your race certificate on there, your personalized race certificate. I want to just say a huge shout out to our sponsors. Bos Sport, I phoned them this morning and I said, please guys, weather's looking cuck, what can you do for shelter? And they came to the party in a big way. They've thrown out some star shades and some gazebos for us to put up to help just get you guys under roof before the start. So a huge shout out to Bos Sport, and please, we ask you to support them whenever you're out there. They've produced a new product called Bos Sport Pro, and specifically for athletes, so go and check that out. But big thank you to Bos Sport. First Ascent struggled with our timelines a bit, but we are doing vouchers. All the voucher prize giving for the Jonkershoek Mountain Challenge will be from courtesy of First Ascent, and that will all be done, as I said, in the week after the race. So look forward to lucky draws for some really cool First Ascent vouchers, which you can spend online, and it will be obviously delivered to your door. So that's really cool. Yeah, that's really a finish time for their support in terms of adapting to this COVID time and being able to use this app timing. Very big thank you to Craig and Trish and team. Very, very cool. And yeah, all the other sponsors involved, really appreciate all the support. All right, if you have any questions, please guys, email info@wildrunner.coza or phone us 072 438 3242. There will be a mail coming to you. Make sure you check your spam box to make sure it doesn't go in there. We can see our mails have been delivered to you, so please don't get hold of us and say, oh, I didn't get your mail. We can see whether it did or didn't. And, filling in an entry form with the wrong email address doesn't help you in the long run. So anyway, if you have any questions, please give us a call on that number, 072 438 3242, or drop us an email at info@wildrunner. Otherwise, we'll see you on Sunday morning in the wet conditions. Thank you, guys. Have a fantastic afternoon and Saturday, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday morning for some racing in the rain.